and pressures swung out of balance, and great winds blew. All over the world, a dingy snow fell, and places, even summer did not erase it. Only the ocean, timeless and obstinate, resistant to change, really mattered. Dark skies had come and gone. The winds pushed ochre, growling sunsets. Fields of ice grew and shallower seas began to sink. But ocean's vote was all important, and it was not in yet. Earth turned. Man still struggled here and there, and ocean breathed a sigh of winter. Part 1. The Cascades. 1. In dust and blood, with the sharp tang of terror stark in his nostrils, a man's mind will sometimes pull forth odd relevancies. After half a lifetime in the wilderness, mostly spent struggling to survive, it still struck Gordon as odd how obscure memories would pop into his mind, right in the middle of a life-or-death fight. Panting under a bone-dry thicket, crawling desperately to find a refuge, he suddenly experienced a recollection as clear as the dusty stones under his nose. It was a memory of contrast, of a rainy afternoon and a warm, safe university library long ago, of a lost world filled with books and music and carefree philosophical ramblings. Words on a page. Dragging his body through the tough, unyielding bracken, he could almost see the letters, black against white, and although he couldn't recall the obscure author's name, the words came back with utter clarity. Short of death itself, there is no such thing as a total defeat. There's never a disaster so devastating that a determined person cannot pull something out of the ashes by risking all that he or she has left. Nothing in the world is more dangerous than a desperate man. Gordon wished the long-dead writer were here right now, sharing his predicament. He wondered what Pollyanna-ish glow the fellow might find around this catastrophe. Scratched and torn from his desperate escape into this dense thicket, he crawled as quietly as he could, stopping to lie still and squeeze his eyes shut whenever the floating dust seemed about to make him sneeze. It was slow, painful progress, and he wasn't even sure where he was headed. Minutes ago, he'd been as comfortable and well-stocked as any solitary traveler could hope to be these days. Now, Gordon was reduced to not much more than a ripped shirt, faded jeans, and camp moccasins, and thorns were cutting them all to bits. A tapestry of fiery pain followed each new scratch down his arms and back. But in this awful, bone-dry jungle, there was nothing to do but crawl onward, and pray his twisting path did not deliver him back to his enemies, to those who had effectively killed him already. Finally, when he had come to think the hellish growth would never end, an opening appeared ahead. A narrow cleft split the brush and overlooked a slope of tumbled rock. Gordon pulled free of the thorns at last, rolled over onto his back, and stared up at hazy sky, grateful simply for air that wasn't foul with the heat of dry decay. Welcome to Oregon, he thought bitterly. And I thought Idaho was bad. He lifted one arm and tried to wipe dust from his eyes. Or is it that I'm simply getting too old for this sort of thing? After all, he was over 30 now, beyond the typical life expectancy of a post-Holocaust traveler. Oh, Lord, I wish I was home again. He wasn't thinking of Minneapolis. The prairie today was a hell he had struggled for more than a decade to escape. No, home meant more to Gordon than any particular place. A hamburger, a hot bath, music, merthiolate, a cool beer. As his labored breathing settled, other sounds came to the fore. The all-too-clear noise of happy looting. It rose from 100 feet or so down the mountainside. Laughter, as the delighted robbers tore through Gordon's gear. A few friendly neighborhood cops, Gordon added, still cataloging the amenities of a world long gone. The bandits had caught him off guard as he sipped elderberry tea by a late afternoon campfire. From that first instant, as they charged up the trail straight at him, it had been clear that the hot-faced men would as soon kill Gordon as look at him. He hadn't waited for them to decide which to do. Throwing scalding tea into the face of the first bearded robber, he dove right into the nearby brambles.